All right, guys, welcome back. Look, we bring you a string of specialists from various fields, not just real estate, but also people who are adding value to the entire Dubai IT, cyber, industrial landscape. Today, I have with me on my podcast a very dear friend, an entrepreneur, and a cyber security specialist. When we talk about him being a cybersecurity specialist, he's like, if cybersecurity had like a black belt system, he's a black belt at a level 10 for the last 20 years. So that's the level of expertise he's got. He's moved back here from Australia. He was born and raised in Dubai. We're going to have an interesting conversation, not just about his journey about real estate, but also what's brought him back to Dubai. And specifically, if you're interested in the subject of cyber security, welcome Haroon.
Thank you, Fahd. That was a very generous, overly generous introduction.
Okay, he's a very humble person. Most Dubai people who are born and raised in Dubai are generally humble.
Yeah, you reckon? I feel that as well.
It's
yeah,
true. It's true. Dubai kids are not boastful. They don't like to
grounded,
show off.
like grounded.
Generally grounded.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about your extraordinary journey from school days all the way to studying internationally, living in Australia, and now you're back in Dubai. And what led you to cybersecurity? Give us the lowdown.
Okay, so I remember at the age of 11, my dad he got me the first computer.
Okay, that's what 1990, 91.
It was I was still in school. 91, 92. So he got me like a huge, massive computer because one of my cousins sold it to him and he got it home. He's like, can you do anything with this?
That's a good blessing, by the way.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of people had computers in 1991.
Yeah. So it was like this really old IBM and a huge monitor and everything. And then it had a hardware problem with it, which I asked my cousin, how do we fix it? And then anyways, I got the computer live. And then at that time, it just used to be something called BBS services.
Okay.
You know, bulletin board services.
Okay.
It's like a black screen thing where you chat or exchange files and this and that, and very basic web browsing. So that was the start of my IT journey, and I found myself maybe, I don't know if I should say like a overly curious, naughty individual trying to break systems. You know, the curiosity at that age is like, okay, let's try to break this system. And at that age, I think by the age of 12, 13, I was hacking BBS services.
Okay.
BBS servers worldwide, whatever I could get.
Really?
Yeah. And then came IRC.
What was a BBS service?
It's like a...
It's a bulletin service?
It's a bulletin board service. It had everything, a little bit of everything. Like it looks very like a black screen with color text and like a DOS prompt, if you remember.
Okay. But it's giving you world news.
Yes and no. It's like people. There are a few people there sharing stuff, sharing news.
It's like Twitter of the day.
It's like Twitter of the day.
And you were you were hacking this?
Yeah, we were hacking BBS services. You know, there's users there and trying to access files which you're not supposed to access. And you see, that was the journey of, I would say, curiosity. Exploring. So curiosity, it just grew and grew and grew.
Okay.
And then, there were websites and this. And I'll talk about phishing later. And surprisingly, cybersecurity has evolved so much, but the old method of phishing remains.
It still remains
It still remains today.
Okay.
Because of human element, of deceive.
Okay.
Deceiving humans.
Okay.
I did Microsoft certifications. I was one of the youngest people in the country that time. One of the youngest, not the youngest, who did MCP, MCSC certifications, various different certifications.
You had a knack for this.
Yeah. So I was like the nerd, and then
no, but you were not a nerd in school with regular studies.
Yeah.
But when it came to computers and computing and coding, you had a natural talent towards this.
Yeah, it was always computers. In school, if you remember, at that time we never had computers.
Yeah, we didn't.
We didn't have computer studies. It was all self-learning, self-discovery, and so that was like the start of my journey. Today, I'm securing companies and government organizations from from hackers like me, for example. So, I mean, I think that was a blessing because I got to know, I got to sit on both sides of the table.
Right. Okay.
You know, I understand how hackers think, how their modus operandi and everything. So when you study cybersecurity today, you only study the good side of things. Yes, you study the bad side, but you don't experience the bad side.
Right. Okay.
You know, so that's like a blessing in disguise, I think.
So you didn't take a very natural route to studies, right? Like straight after high school, you went to university.
Yeah. And I studied. So straight after high school, I went to college.
Right.
And I studied electronics and communications engineering.
Okay.
There were no cybersecurity.
That was in Dubai.
That was in Dubai.
Okay, but then you didn't stick to Dubai.
No,
you went internationally, right?
Yeah, I did. I did go to UK.
Okay, to the UK.
I did go to Plymouth University, and over there I finished my undergrad bachelor's.
Plymouth's in the mountains?
No, it's a very beautiful town by the sea.
Okay, by the sea.
In southwest of England.
Okay, southwest.
I remember there's a town called Torquay.
Okay.
Which is Torquay. Yeah. Okay. I hope the British don't mind if my pronunciation is wrong, but it's called Torquay.
Okay. But you didn't call it Turkey, so that's okay then.
It's Turkey now. Torquay. I used to go to Torquay almost every fortnight, and they had a very great, really, really nice fish and chips.
Okay.
Yeah, I just used to go for fish and chips. I used to take the bus ride, which was about 2 hours of bus ride just for the fish and chips.
MashaAllah.
So I used to come back, and that was used to be my weekend thing.
So you studied there, and then you came back to Dubai.
Yeah, then I came back to Dubai.
And you started being an entrepreneur.
No, then I worked for Emirates Airlines.
Oh, right, okay.
I worked with Emirates for about 3 years.
Okay.
I was in their security headquarters. I was looking after their. I was part of the planning team. Okay. It was just actually me and my boss.
Okay.
We used to plan security systems for entire group. So it was. So I used to be the bridge between the physical security systems to cyber. So I used to bridge that gap.
Okay.
And I was one of the few employees who got, I think, about 6 awards in 9 months.
Mashallah.
In Emirates. Wow. And I pioneered their SOC, their Security Operations Center. So I helped them build that system, build that center where they monitor all the facilities in one place and ensure data security at the same time. And I also brought in digital smart cards and access control systems.
This is 2008?
That was 2000, up until 2008.
Okay, so you're working with them until 2008.
Until 2008. And then I was I'm doing 12 to 16 hours a day.
Okay.
And the market had a huge opportunity for individuals like me,
right,
who understands cyber and physical digital systems and stuff like that. So I thought I should get into my own thing.
So you
went
on to become an entrepreneur.
And I was 29 at that time, 28 at that time, and that's it. I've never looked back.
You maintain that your company now is about 14 years old?
It's about 14 years old. So
okay.
I've got a company in Dubai, of course, and I've got a company in Australia.
What's it called in Dubai?
In Dubai, it's called HSA Security.
Security Systems.
HSA Security, yeah.
So you start working, you start operating as an entrepreneur. You move to Australia, right?
Yeah. So I moved to Australia about 8 years ago from now, 8 years ago.
Right.
So that was about 2014, 2015.
So you stayed there, worked there. The company in Dubai kept operating.
Yeah, kept operating.
You kept coming back. Yeah. You have employees here who are with you more than a decade.
Yeah, I've got...
Bless you.
Yeah, I mean, 2 out of the others are here since 2009.
2009. So, wow.
Yeah.
Almost 14 years.
Yeah, almost 14 years.
Okay, talk about this journey. So going to Australia and then deciding to come back to Dubai now.
Yeah.
2 years ago. Tell me about this, coming back.
There are quite a few reasons. Dubai has transformed itself massively in the last, I would say, 5 years. in terms
like
of
we who were born here, we have seen Dubai transforming for the last 40
yeah,
years.
yeah. So
But now
that's
you're talking about specifically for the
Yeah.
last 5 years. It's the next level game.
it's next level game.
Do you think so?
So they have
From a real estate perspective, I like to hear this stuff. Please tell us more.
So you see, they literally went on a rocket to Mars. You see, so that's the next.
Actually,
level.
yeah, they did.
They did, right? So that's the
Vision of His Highness.
that's the vision of His Highness. So
Yeah.
that is just extraordinary.
Yeah.
And Australia is a great place. I love Australia.
Right.
In fact, I miss Australia. I still go to Australia every.
A little laid back.
It's laid back. It's the weather is great.
The weather and the surf.
The surf. I'm not a surfer.
Yeah.
I do like.
joking.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I used to like the hikes,
Right.
especially in the Blue Mountains.
Right,
I
okay.
used to live about just half an hour from Blue Mountains.
But hold on, just to let you know, Dubai is developing that side, by the way. Like,
Yeah.
Dubai for the last 40 years might not have paid too much attention to the hiking, the mountaineering, the countryside. But you know that His Highness has announced this as a plan to develop the Hatta area and all of that as bed and breakfast. And
Really?
so they're going to come up with, they're going
They're
to
gonna-
catch up with that. So,
They're gonna catch up.
so
Yeah,
that's good news. Alhamdulillah.
yeah. They've
About
done-
Dubai. We gotta plug Dubai real estate wherever we can. Okay, back to Mr. Haroon's very great story. Okay, what made you move back?
So it was this transformation that I saw about Dubai, and then during COVID, I was locked down in Australia. So
Okay.
Australia.
Australia was bad.
Australia-
Australia and
Aussie-
New Zealand was like one of the strictest.
No, but I think the Aussie lockdown is the most famous lockdowns in the world after
More
China.
than New Zealand?
I think so.
And
Yes.
New Zealand was worse, I think.
I'm not sure.
I think you guys were both hand in glove, brother and sister kind of locked down. They were both like New Zealand said, nobody in, nobody out. And then they had one case. And then they got, what happened?
Yeah, no. So the Aussie lockdown was so bad that at that time I made a decision that, and I was looking at Dubai. Dubai was open,
Yeah.
carefully open.
Yeah, yeah.
They managed the protocols, so that their business continues, people movement continues, normal lives continue while maintaining
As best as possible. As best as possible.
You see, so that actually, when I looked at that time I made my mind, okay, this is not the place where I want to be, Australia.
Right.
And
Wow.
yeah, and of course there are other reasons as well.
Right.
You know, from business perspective, as an entrepreneur, I find Dubai the cultural melting pot is actually a huge attraction to me.
Do you find more business opportunity here?
Of course, Dubai is
For
a
sure.
shopping mall for the entire region.
MashaAllah. Even today.
Even today.
More than
Especially
Australia.
Oh, of course. Yes, Australia is in Mars.
See,
I'm sorry.
everybody who's doubting Dubai, should you do business here?
I mean, there you go. So look, it's strategically located. It's
Right.
blessed to be located in this part of the planet. Australia is really far. And Dubai, it's the number of cultures over here.
Right. 200
see-
plus nationalities.
200 plus
buying
national-
properties here.
You're buying properties. And
And
why are
living
they,
here.
and why are they buying properties? You see, is one of the main reasons is with so many cultures, you get to interact with all those cultures at the same time.
Yeah.
Now, how does this translate to business?
Okay, please.
Is like, for example, if I want to do business with Turkey,
Right.
now I need to understand their culture, right?
Right.
How do you understand the culture? The one way is you fly down there, live there, interact with people.
Correct.
Or you meet Turk community over here.
All
you,
right.
you get to interact with them. You understand their culture,
Right,
their
right,
chemistry.
right.
You get to know them. So you understand how to do business with them.
Right.
So now imagine doing business with 200 different countries
In Dubai.
in Dubai because
Correct.
you interact with all those people. You want to do business with Nigeria? You meet Nigerians over here. You
Right.
understand their culture, how to do business with them.
Right.
So, and Dubai gives you this amazing advantage. So that was that was the second reason why I decided to move back here. The melting pot is just amazing, and this has allowed me to expand business in the entire region. So I'm
Mashallah.
currently doing business in Africa, in Middle East.
Okay.
And we are expanding. I mentioned Turkey because we're expanding
You're
in
expanding
Turkey
there.
now as we speak, in cyber solutions.
MashaAllah. So welcome back to Dubai.
Thank you. This is home. I was born here.
Yeah, you were born here, right? I actually asked our other friends who were with us, when you were anywhere else in the world, like the UK or Australia, do you feel Dubai is home for you? Born and raised, because you're one of those people who are born and raised. You're the first generation who was born and raised and are living here by choice. Yeah. Most other people, like your parents, they came here, they wanted to earn. But then with you, your international background, international education, international travel facilities that you have, you can be living anywhere.
Yeah.
So you choose to be here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So do you call Dubai home?
Yes.
Okay, good for you. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
That's good.
I mean, even when I was in Australia, I used to fly down to Dubai every,
couple of months, 4 months.
3-4 months.
Alhamdulillah.
Because it was like going home.
I wanna get to the forensics part, okay? Cybersecurity, it's an ever-evolving field. Like, how do you keep abreast? Like, we can't even keep in touch with what's happening in social media sometimes.
Yeah.
How do you stay abreast with all of this?
I'm mentoring some university students as we speak, and some individuals who are out of university who are getting into cyber. So I'm mentoring them as well. And this is a question that I'm asked, and I also tell them, how do you stay in touch with the industry? And that is one word. There's only one word answer: curiosity.
Oh, wow. That answers it.
That's it.
Without that, you're nobody.
Nobody. So
forget it. You're not going to make it.
You're not going to make it. No degree is going to help you.
I like that. You know, Haroon, sorry, I'm cutting you off.
No.
This applies to every field.
Every field.
This applies to real estate.
Yeah.
This applies to if you want to go down to the Titanic. Curiosity, not stupidity. Okay, bless those guys and bless those souls.
Yeah, souls.
This applies to cricket, right? The great students of cricket as athletes are the great performers. They never stop learning.
Never stop learning.
And what you've just described to me is with regards to, like, I remember for me to grow in real estate and become an expert, I always had curiosity. Like, where every other agent stops, I go the extra step.
Yeah.
And that extra step, like sometimes while you're in the middle of it, you're like, why the hell am I doing this? But that adds so much value to the overall principle of you learning. Mashallah. Yeah, I want to ask you something. This is for our listener. Because we're Dubai kids, right? I want to give back to Dubai as well. Seriously. Have you really seriously think about this? Have you thought about taking on young Emiratis under a mentorship program to get them in this field and helping them learn about cybersecurity and, becoming cybersecurity specialists? Have you thought about this?
I did actually. And I was discussing this with someone who does work with many schools over here. And she actually advised me, and I'm actually working on it as well, is I started going to schools because cybersecurity awareness is so lacking among students. Now, when I say awareness that is lacking, is from both perspectives, from threat perspective and curiosity perspective. People think, oh, cybersecurity, it's rocket science. It can get difficult, but it's not rocket science. And I want to go to schools, and that is exactly what I'm working on, a plan. So hopefully, the next academic year, you'll find me going to different schools and giving.
Are we talking about high schools or universities or colleges?
When I say schools, as in generally everyone.
Okay.
So even universities.
Okay.
In fact, I've been to university before. When I was here in Dubai before COVID, I was invited. I think the name was Manipal University.
Okay.
So I was there, and I did give a talk to those university students on cyber, and it was a good question Q&A.
I want to clarify to our viewers about what you actually do. So, like, you're not just a cybersecurity specialist. So he's not just a you're a forensics specialist.
That's what I specialize on.
That's what you specialize in
cybersecurity domain.
So let's relate this to the accounting industry, right? So the accountants or the accounting industry has auditors. Auditors go in and check everything's okay. Nobody's stolen any money. Everything's okay.
Yeah.
You, as a forensic cybersecurity specialist, come after the crime has been committed. Explain this to us.
Yeah. So I usually get contacted when a crime has been committed.
Okay.
So, but sometimes I found myself an active crime scene while doing something else for a client. And I'll give you that example.
Yeah, talk us about a client without any confidentiality breaches.
Yeah, I'll talk about it. So there was this FMCG client, a manufacturer of fast-moving goods. Because if I mention what goods they manufacture, then that's how people will link to it.
Okay.
So it was an FMCG manufacturer, and the project that I was doing with them was enhancing their cybersecurity posture,
right?
Their maturity.
Okay.
So there was quite a few things we went through in compliance. We go through different things, installing, let's say, implementing security systems, etc. So when we implemented a solution which is called SIEM, SIEM, Security Information Event Management, what it does is a SIEM system. It shows you logs and what data is going through your entire network.
Okay.
So it shows logs of your firewalls and stuff. I don't want to be too technical here.
Yes.
So when we implemented that, we saw that there was traffic going to some really suspicious IP addresses.
Really?
And
means out of the organization.
Out of the organization, and then there was these files moving out as well and everything. So that's when we found that, this is something really wrong, and this has been happening. And this is what we found after a month of investigation, that hackers were actually in the network since past about close to, it can't be definite, about 8 to 9 months.
Okay.
So we found it was a large attack by a it was a state-sponsored attack.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, which the groups. So you named the groups. It was an APT attack. APT in cyber world is known as Advanced Persistent Threat.
Okay.
APT. There are numbers. It was APT. I can say it was North Korean group who was
We're gonna
attacking.
edit this out.
No, that's fine. That's fine, because this is. These bits are public information.
Okay, fine.
So it's okay.
Okay.
So we investigated, and we found that they were actually actively exploiting the system, taking out the files, and that FMCG manufacturer had some secret sources of their products.
Right. Okay.
That's what they were after. And this group is still very active in cyberspace, in dark cyberspace.
Wow.
They are attacking financial institutions, organizations. They're attacking medical research institutions.
So how did you stop this? Did you get a chance to stop it, or was the damage done?
So there was quite a significant damage was already done.
Okay.
That was because they did not, they came in too late to realize that we have to do something about security.
Right.
And that happened because after one of their staff emails were compromised, and then they came in, can you please fix our entire infrastructure and security? And that's when we found this attack was already happening. So that was a pretty challenging exercise, which lasted about 1.5 years.
Wow.
To actually make sure that the attackers were out of the network.
Just to get them out?
Just to get them out and make sure there is no...
They're not going to come back and there's no holes that they can come in from.
That's one. There is no such thing as 100% security, but to make sure they haven't left any, for example, sleeper malwares, viruses that are sleeping.
Sleeper cells.
We call it sleeper botnets, for example.
Okay, sleeper botnets.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like they're sleeping, they look innocent, but then they can be woken up based on a command sent by a
external source.
External source.
Wow.
Which we call it a C2 server, for example. Command and control.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah.
So this you fixed. Okay. So let's talk about recently, like when you got involved, like there's an exchange that you were helping. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah. So we'll have to this thing. Well, I'll try to answer this question without giving too many details.
Okay.
As again a forensics guy, I have investigated some crypto exchanges.
Okay.
Who have been hacked, and one of them is based in Asia, the other one is based in Europe somewhere, and they lost hundreds of millions of dollars combined.
Okay.
Right, and again, it was a sophisticated attack, and I'm just trying to think what I can say.
Sure.
Again,
without breaching confidentiality.
Okay. Because some of those, there are some other cases that I'm dealing with which are indirectly linked to this, because again, these hacker groups, there are generally just 1 or 2 or 3 hacker groups, and they all attack.
Okay, let's just talk about them bringing you in. They come to you and they say, listen, Mr. Haroon, this has happened, help.
Yes, this has happened, help. So
you go in there.
Yeah. So I'll give you one example of help where I couldn't really help.
Okay, you couldn't help them.
Yeah, because there was a company in Middle East, a manufacturer of a textile byproduct, something.
Okay.
A large manufacturer. They were a victim of ransomware attack.
What's ransomware? So
What's
just
ransomware?
for the viewers.
Yeah. So ransomware is a malware like a virus, a piece of code, which is like a virus that goes into your system and encrypts all your files in the network. So, so what it does is it starts with the encryption of the first victim, which is the first computer, encrypts all the files, making all the data that you have as useless. You can't use it until you decrypt it, and then it propagates itself to the rest of the computers in the network, and then encrypts all of them. So it's designed to do that. And once it's done its job, it shows you a pretty little message. Hey, mate, you're now under the mercy of us, which is
whoever the hacker
group is. And here's what you have to do. So 1, you have, let's say, 12 hours or let's say 10 days to give us X amount of Bitcoins, for example. And when you do this, we will send you a decryptor. A decryptor means a file that will decrypt those files.
Okay. So basically, they've not stolen the data. They've just masked it. That makes it unusable by you.
No. So they don't just encrypt the data.
Right.
They actually take the data as well.
They take the data as well.
Yeah, because they want an insurance policy.
Right, okay.
You see? So their insurance policy is, let's say if you do manage to get a hold of a decryptor without paying them, for instance, then that means you've snitched on them.
Okay.
And then they will leak your data.
Oh my God.
So you better pay them from their perspective.
Okay.
But we as cybersecurity people, we say never pay them.
Okay.
And I'll give you some interesting figures. So I was talking about this, how I couldn't help them. So they were already attacked.
Right.
Done. And these guys sent me a picture of their computers on my WhatsApp. What do we do? Can you help us? And then, so I looked at the file. I told them to send me any one file. I looked at the extension and the technical details, and I found it was a ransomware which had no decryptor available.
Okay.
No decryptor available. So that means you can't do anything about it. You're done. So I told him, look, mate, you're done.
It's like guy's dead.
Yeah.
You can't bring him back to life.
So I asked him a few questions. Do you have any backups? No, we never took any backups.
Yeah.
And how many? Asked a few questions. It was a dead end. So that company suffered losses. I mean, those guys told me after a few months, it was close to about $5.5-6 million. They suffered losses because they restarted everything.
That's just
all over again.
Actually, that's just the loss of replacing the equipment, perhaps. But
the
actual loss of productivity, the loss of time, the resources. Very expensive lesson for them.
Yeah. And they couldn't fulfill orders to their clients,
suppliers,
etc.
So it's like a domino effect.
Yeah.
Are companies in Dubai prepared? Are they taking proper caution? Should they be really taking caution?
You know, again, when you asked me the question earlier why I moved to Dubai, and this is one of the answers that I'm going to give you now.
Right.
Is the leaders, His Highness, vision specifically in cybersecurity. And I think Sheikh Hamdan, His Highness Sheikh Hamdan, is actually going to be announcing a phase 2 of cybersecurity strategy.
Right, okay.
I think today or tomorrow, but I know they were actively going to announce this in the media. I didn't check any news today or yesterday, and that actually shows the level of their awareness. So when you're aware about your threats, that means you prepare yourself.
Okay.
So to answer your question, Dubai, UAE has come up with a compliance called NESA, UAE NESA, which is managed by TDRA.
Okay.
So it it makes it.
What's TDRA?
TDRA is a TRA is the new
name. Is it TRA? Oh, it's the new name of TRA.
It's the new name.
Telecom Regulatory Authority.
It's the new name.
Is now TDRA.
TDRA. Okay. So it's managed by TDRA.
Okay.
It makes it mandatory for financial institutions or anyone in critical infrastructure to be compliant
with international standards to protect.
They have created this this standard based on international best practices.
Okay,
right?
That's good.
And they've made it mandatory for anyone in critical infrastructure, including financial institutions, to be compliant.
All right. Okay,
so that's
good.
That actually means that they are very serious about security. That actually means that they're in the game,
right?
And they're very serious about pushing companies. They're already doing it. Financial institutions and critical infrastructure, pushing other companies to be compliant.
So it'll come down to everybody.
Yeah,
everybody needs to.
It's going to come down. So it's going to come down to suppliers who supply to these critical infrastructure companies.
Will also have to be compliant,
yes.
and then it goes down. And
yeah,
down
because I'll give you an example. In Australia or US as well, there has been attacks, not directly on defense, for example,
right,
but on defense contractors,
So
suppliers.
they go through that because they're connected to the system of the defense contractors.
That's a soft target.
Right.
They supply to defense, not necessarily they're connected to defense systems, but they supply to them and they supply confidential things, products, items. Right. So there's,
Let's talk about from a security perspective. It's not just for corporations, yeah. Like, remember there was this famous actress who I think pictures got leaked. Her private pictures got leaked.
Yeah.
And then now, as an individual, everybody travels around with their iPad, their phone, the computer. You connect to the hotel Wi-Fi sometimes. You can. I try to connect to my phone's mobile network, but I remember, like, back in the day, if I was using an office network, if I'm doing some purchase online, I would get off the office network and connect to my mobile data and do that. But that's very minimalistic level of security. Let's talk about the threat to individuals. Or let's talk about it in a positive way. What can individuals do to protect themselves from cybersecurity attacks and their families and everybody?
Yeah, interesting you asked this question. As of now, I'm advising / assisting two celebrities on cybersecurity, and I found myself into this thing after one of them approached me via a reference that she needed help. She thinks that her data has been leaked, some confidential data, and her business, it was a private business, has been hacked, and she's not able to access anyways. So I'm currently actively assisting both of them in boosting their cybersecurity posture. Now, one of them is very well known celebrity, very well known, and she's always on this constant risk of being attacked. Because
stalkers.
So
because you said she, so I'm just saying stalkers.
So stalkers. The other guy is a he.
Okay, so there's a she and a he. Okay.
And
I don't know these people, by the way. So okay.
So. And you see, these individuals, they face different kind of threats, so I'm assisting them, ensuring that their phone, their Wi-Fi, their computers, their Wi-Fi at home, in their offices are all secure. And in fact, we've got a cybersecurity company in Australia, and we've partnered with various partners, and we're doing 24/7 incident response as well for them.
Right. Okay.
And in fact, we just recently created a company just to do this for these individuals. So
nice.
And that's called Blackstone Private.
Okay, Blackstone Private.
Blackstone Private. So to answer your question, what can individuals do? You see, the most basic thing is your cyber hygiene.
So can I come to your what can individuals do? So is your service available for everybody, or is it just for high net worth individuals, celebrities, and so on and so forth?
It's only for high net worth individuals.
Okay, at the moment.
At the moment.
Because the regular guy is not at a very great risk.
Yes, of course. The risk is different.
Okay, right? The risk levels are different, right? Okay.
Yeah, the risk levels. So it's based on risk level. And so normal individuals like me, We don't face that level of risk.
Not that level of risk. Okay, bless
Simple
you.
as that. So,
but with being popular, being there out there in the media spotlight, the risk increases.
Of course.
By the number of either stalkers who just like you and want your pictures, perhaps, and also from nefarious elements who want to actually blackmail you.
Yeah.
So there's like organized and disorganized. So you're now, the more you grow in the spotlight, you're at a high level of threat from these different organizations.
You're also at threat from competitors.
Oh, okay.
You see?
Yeah.
Because sometimes they have confidential contracts with brands or whatever.
Right.
You know, so that they don't want that to be exposed. Now, when I say, high net worth or VIP or celebrity doesn't necessarily mean someone who comes on a movie.
Right.
Celebrity also means a person who's a PEP, a politically exposed person.
Right, or a sports personality.
Sports personality.
Or so on and so forth.
So politically exposed person has different kind of risk.
Right,
You
okay.
see? So really confidential national security level data that they hold, but they do not fall under the government protection.
Right. So they're not following the protocols to protect their iPads, their mobile phones.
Exactly. So like journalists as well.
Right, okay.
Under constant threat. So they're also VIPs.
Okay, yes.
So anyone who has a great risk of their data is a VIP.
Right. Anybody who has data that has some value is at a risk.
Is at a risk.
Okay.
And of course, securing them isn't cheap.
Okay.
You see, it takes a lot of resources, efforts, skills, and hence the service is only for these individuals.
Right.
And
it's targeted towards them. So you're coming to the tips for the regular Joes as well.
Regular Joes, yeah. For us.
Okay, let's talk about for both if you want.
Yeah, for both.
For high level.
It applies to everyone. It applies to everyone. Of course, people with greater risk, greater different strategy. But for normal Joes like us, in your cyber hygiene, your digital hygiene, the most important part is how you manage your passwords. The first thing, how you manage them, what passwords you keep. So what I recommend is use password managers. Never use the same password elsewhere. Use password managers because password managers create complex passwords and remember them for you.
Okay.
One. So, then you do 2 factors.
Right.
Number 3, you don't use, for example, your laptops or iPads on public Wi-Fi.
Right.
To use them because you don't know if that Wi-Fi is compromised. So if that Wi-Fi is compromised by a guy sitting next to you and you won't even know in a cafe, he's actually looking at what you're doing.
So if you go internationally traveling,
the
first thing they want to do is bring up the iPads and then connect to the hotel Wi-Fi.
So I carry a hotspot, a 5G, 4G hotspot of my own and connect to that.
Okay.
And
so that's one tip. Yeah. That's almost everybody can afford that today.
Of course.
Yeah.
Data is cheap
if
now.
you can travel, let's say you can travel to Germany, UK, then you can afford a hotspot 4G, 5G. Like you don't need the hotel Wi-Fi. You're right.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Data is cheap.
So that's one.
Yeah.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
Easy tip.
To implement. Great password hygiene.
Okay.
When you talk about passwords and 2 factors, try not to use SMS.
Okay.
Don't do SMS. Use password, use 2-factor OTP software, authenticators like Google Authenticators, use OT.
Okay.
OT owned by Twilio, I think.
Okay.
You do that and then, another thing is that all your computers that you have, all the net endpoints or devices, you should have security software installed. Like for example, not just so antivirus is a simple thing. So I would recommend something better than that, which also checks your browsing and advises you if the website is suspicious, for example.
Right. Okay.
So you don't have to look for a red flag in a website that you're looking for.
Okay.
Let the software, for example, do that for you.
Okay, of course.
If you're not interested to learn what to look for. So then you purchase and install these advanced security softwares so that they can take care of a significant part of your security. And the most important part is get some cybersecurity awareness training, because you know, in a breach, the biggest part is the human element. When I talked about phishing used to happen back then, and it happens today.
Right.
So what is phishing? Phishing is you receive an email with a link that you think is legit. You click on it. Yes, it looks like a legit your bank website. You look at it and you enter your username and password and submit, and it suddenly says, "Oh, password is, for example, wrong or incorrect," and it goes to the original website.
Right.
But during that process, what has happened
They've captured your
details. So now this is something that you have to learn, of identifying what to click and what not to click.
Right.
So this is where the human element comes in. So it's very important to go through these very basic trainings, which are freely available on YouTube.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got to self-aware yourself and educate yourself.
Yeah, constantly.
How do you think technology is going to be playing a role in Dubai real estate and Dubai real estate's development going forth? Last question, quickly.
Yeah, no worries. You know, with the Dubai has projected itself the leader in not just information security. It's getting there to become one of the leaders in information security and digital transformation, and that is being applied in real estate in the form of from various different initiatives. And one of them is, for example, blockchain. So Dubai is pioneering in blockchain, and that's why you see all these crypto exchanges moving to Dubai.
Right.
These big ones who used to be based in Asia, Virgin Islands or Western countries, they're moving to Dubai because it has given this freedom to
innovate,
implement, and with this, it will, for example, if you talk about real estate, it will enable indirectly people will want to come in, invest here, do business here,
right,
work here, and in order to do that, or not in order to do that, while doing this, they would want to invest in real estate. One. Number two, when you talk about blockchain, for example, blockchain enables secure, verifiable,
transactions,
undeniable
end-to-end
transaction if it's a real estate transaction. And
right.
To the best of my understanding and knowledge, Dubai, and I think even, I'm not sure if Ajman is already doing it, but Dubai I think they're already, or the UAE is already implementing blockchain-based document verification solutions.
They're going there. So we've gone paperless to a large degree. So there are no title deeds anymore. Printed.
Yeah.
It's all with the QR code.
And now you can verify it as well.
Yeah, you can verify the
blockchain.
QR code. I guess the technology in the backside is blockchain technology. But one of the things that I perceive happening over the next year and a half, 2 years is right now closing a transaction can take anywhere between 3 to 10 days because you've got to collect documents from various sources. I personally think that that's going to become an instant thing, like seller presses a button, buyer presses a button. Even money goes from bank to bank very fast. So you don't have to go and collect managers' checks. Right now, you've got to do a lot of things to be able to conclude a real estate transaction. But if you're like, click, money's in your account, please sign that property over to me.
Tell me something.
Click, property is now assigned to you. Actually, sorry, you don't have to sign because you're just clicking.
So currently, when you buy a property, or when you want to sell a property, both buyers and sellers go to the land department.
To an appointed trustee of the land department. So yes, indirectly their land department.
The future where they're heading now is it's all going to become digital. So you will be sitting in New York buying a property, verifying your identity through facial recognition, everything via
correct. Correct.
It will check, of course, it will check if you're a real person, if you check you're alive, you're
correct.
not dead.
Correct.
Etc.
You can still buy a property online from New York. You don't have to come to Dubai, but there are things that you need to do in the middle to make sure that that person is there, or assign somebody, so on and so forth.
Yeah,
otherwise,
but I'm talking about complete digital transformation.
Complete. I think it's
using AI.
I think what, in my opinion, Dubai surprises us. I think it's just a year away.
Yeah, it's not more than that.
Thank Thank you very much. Thank you.
Same here.
I want to
Thank you.
thank Haroon. Maybe we do a part 2 on the cyber. Let's see what kind of comments we get, because I think it's a very interesting topic. I think people need to educate themselves with respect to cybersecurity, especially parents, because kids are on devices, kids are on screens, and I think parents need to be aware. We talked about corporations as well, who need to be aware, because once the crime has been committed, it's too late.
Yeah, it's too late.
The damage has been done. Like you can't really come in to resolve. Perhaps you can do some damage control, or you will have to rebuild from the ground up. We're gonna put your details in the number downstairs.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
In the meantime, we've got a little gift for you for coming. So every podcast guest
thank you, Mike.
gets a little something from us. This is for you. Thank you again for coming. And guys, we'll catch you on the other side. Look, we just don't want to talk about real estate. The reason is because Dubai is a vibrant place. The industries that are growing here are actually feeding into the real estate landscape. It's bringing in entrepreneurs. It's bringing in people who are born and raised in Dubai, can go and live anywhere else in the world and work, but they're choosing Dubai, which actually indirectly strengthens the real estate industry. And it gives me, you, as the investors, a lot of confidence when you're investing in Dubai. Guys, if you want to buy a property, get in touch. There are links below if you want to work with us. Again, there's links below. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and bell icon. And if you got comments for me or the guest, put it in the comments section. We'd be more than happy to pick it up during our session.
Anyone who wants to get in touch with me, any questions, happy to answer any questions.
Okay, we'll put your details at the bottom. Put your mobile number there.
Oh, we can do that.
Okay, he's given us permission for now, until he comes back to us and tells us, please remove my mobile number now. For now, we'll do it. All right, guys. Ciao for now.
Cheers.
Bye.